What's up, everybody? My name is Drake from catscozygames, and today I'm going to show you the perfect solution to keep those pesky fluid drops from entering your applied energistics item drives and clogging up the works. So without further delay, let's get straight into it. Alright, everybody, so let's talk first about how this can happen, and then we'll describe the problem, and then we'll describe the solution for it. So here's a good example of how this can happen. You can end up with fluid drops in your item drives accidentally. Like this. This is a good example. Let's say that I'm getting energetic alloy in molten form, and let's say that I make a recipe for it that's 720 liters with 5 ingots for some reason. Maybe I did it this way for some reason. And let's say that I order a double layer capacitor. Well, that only requires 576 liters, right? So what happens when I request this and then I get an extra 144 liters? Where does that go? Well, the only place where we have fluid storage is over here, and I don't have a place partitioned specifically for energetic alloy. So what's going to happen is, okay, we got our double layer capacitor, good. And if I look up energetic alloy, we have 144 droplets left in the system. And as you can see, the tooltip there says AE2FC fluid drop. Well, they all do, actually. But what happens is, if we go here, and our fluid terminal, energetic, oh, it doesn't appear, right? But all these others appear. The problem is that it's not in a readable format anymore. It's stuck in this drop of question mark, as you can see over here on the left side. And so the question is, how can we just prevent this from happening in the first place? And let's say even if it does happen, how can you convert these over? Is there something in GTNH that will help you do this? And it turns out there is. It's something called this, the ME Fluid Packet Decoder. If you take, sometimes you'll end up with these. There are other ways that can happen, but you can end up with like a little square fluid packet like this as well. This will actually take either one of these and convert it over into an appropriate fluid format that you can actually deal with, that the fluid terminal can actually see. So, can we create a system that will basically send stuff automatically to the decoder if it has nowhere else good to go? In other words, can we prioritize it sending to this over just being sent into our ME drives, like our item drives, where it's basically useless and it's clogging up the works? And the answer is yes, absolutely we can. So what I'm going to do, now I've got everything here ready to go. I'm going to follow, take you all through it step by step. We have our purple network here. That's our main net. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place a drive like so. And we're actually going to create a subnet here. And I'm going to paint this blue subnet. And then we'll have blue here as well. Go ahead and paint that, and we'll go ahead and put a terminal here so that we can come in and like see whatever excess fluids that we have in the system. And I'm actually going to go ahead and power this with a quartz fiber cable. So now that's illuminated. Very good. And then what you're going to want to do next is you're going to want at least one item drive in here that's actually going to catch the fluid droplets and the packets and store them as items temporarily, before it then sends them through the subnet and then turns them into an appropriate fluid that you can actually use. So, and the best way to use this system is going to be to use the multi-fluid storage cells. So this one can hold 5 types, and basically you just want to fill this up so that you can catch plenty of extra fluids in case you have any problems. So, which you inevitably will. Like this is bound to happen either through accident or other means at some point when you're playing. So what we're going to do is we are going to put a storage bus on the main network. This is just a normal item storage bus. And we're going to put a fuzzy card in here, right? And we're going to leave it as match any. And what you're going to do is you're going to look up these 2 items right here that you can see on the left side. Drop of question mark and fluid packet. And if I just type in drop of question mark, it's right there. And you're going to go ahead and whitelist it. And then if you type in fluid packet, it's also right there. Invalid fluid. You want both of these. And what you're also going to do is you want it set to a higher priority than anything else, than any of your other like item drives, basically. So I'm going to set this to 10,000, something like that. Our main item drives at the moment are just 0. So it will definitely prioritize this, but only if it's one of these two things. Fuzzy car is very important here because obviously there's a ton of different types of these drops, and you want to be able to match all of them, potentially. In order for our subnet to receive it, you're then going to put an item interface, an ME interface, right here. And then that should be good to go. Then you hook that up with the subnet cable. What we're also going to do is put this right here, a fluid storage bus on the mainnet. We're going to set this to extract only, and that way our main system has access to these fluids that end up here somehow. So they're not just sitting here taking up space, right? They're actually, still usable by the main network. And then to complete that, you're going to put an ME dual interface on the other side, like so. And then also some subnet cable. Very good. All right. Now here's where the magic happens. You want the decoding to be able to happen. So what we're going to do is... I'm trying to think how I want this to look aesthetically. This is fine at the moment. This will be fine. So you all can see it easily. So I'm going to put the Fluid Packet Decoder right here. I don't want that to actually connect up directly to it. What we want is an export bus, an ME export bus. This is just an item version. And then we can connect that up. And what we want to do is we want to put fuzzy cards in, and then as many acceleration cards as you can, just to kind of speed up the whole process. You could put hyper acceleration cards as well if you wanted to. But then what we're going to do is we're going to put in the fluid packet. And so basically what's going to happen is this is going to grab everything from this item storage cell that the network can see and try to put it in here in the ME Fluid Packet Decoder. By the way, if you're enjoying the content and you want more GTNH, please like the video and subscribe. And also, come watch me and my wife Kat stream GTNH every Monday through Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're on a streaming channel called catscozygames, and we're on all the streaming sites, Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. Hope to see y'all there. And without further ado, back to the video. Alright, the next thing that you want to do is hook up the packet decoder just with normal subnet cable, and then in order for this to be read, in order for all of this to be able to take place, you do want a fluid discretizer as well. That's kind of what helps the system understand basically how to move fluid around. So now, what we should be able to do is here's our droplets that we had earlier in the system that were kind of clogging the works. And then we put this here, crafting terminal. This is just for demonstrative purposes. These droplets will automatically go here because of the storage bus that we made earlier. That's on the main network, if I can reach it. Yeah, this one right here. This storage bus will send them there automatically. But let's say that we, just for demonstrative purposes, put this here. Okay. And then, there it is. Molten energetic alloy. So now because we can see that in the ME fluid terminal, this is actually usable by the system. And because of this extra fluid storage bus and dual interface combination that we put down here on extract only, if I go over to this fluid terminal on the main network, there's our energetic alloy available to the system to be able to take at any time. So this basically is finished right now. Now, one modification that we can make is, let's say that you have a repeated instance of some disposable fluid that ends up, this happens frequently where the droplets keep getting sent here, and you basically just don't care about that extra fluid. You don't care about saving it, you just want to convert the droplets and get rid of it, basically. What you can do is you can set a fluid storage bus. You can drink a little potion flask here. You can set a fluid storage bus here, and you can set this to, this would be insert only, right? And then you would put a fluid trash can from extra utilities. And then you can just whitelist whatever fluids that you want. So water is probably a really good example. Nobody wants to save water. Especially when you get later in the game, things like hydrogen and oxygen, things like that, you really don't actually care about. And so you just send the excess there. You don't want these, we care more about saving like really important fluids, essentially. So Looks like the network went down for a second. That happens whenever I add stuff to it. But basically, this is done. So now if I were to go and make that craft happen again, with the the double layer capacitor, we would normally have the extra 144 drops that get, just sent to the ME drives, the main drives, and clog everything up. But now, it should actually get sent over here. I actually don't know why the system is down right now. So I think we figured out why this was happening. So we actually ended up having more than 8 channels on the network, which was surprising. I didn't expect for that to happen. So now if I put the fluid storage bus here again, then we are good to go. And now everything's online. And now we can filter our fluids, etc., etc. So keep that in mind. You might end up using more than 8 channels in the subnet, and in that case need an ME controller. So just watch out for that. But yeah, there's our 288 liters of molten energetic alloy. The extra 144 just went in there. And we can clean this up now, and yeah, I'm going to call that good. We'll come over here. Obviously, we can come over here and see whatever fluids are stored here, but again, they will always be available on the main network. Like so. So there, I hope that helped you all out. And until next time, we'll come back with you another video later on. And until then, y'all stay safe.